New York 1924 was an elite chess tournament held in the Alamac Hotel in New York City from March 16 to April 18, 1924. It was organized by the Manhattan Chess Club. The competitors included world champion José Raúl Capablanca and his predecessor Emanuel Lasker. 9 other top players from Europe and America were also invited. Emanuel Lasker met Alexander Alekhine, Efim Bogoljubow, Géza Maróczy, Richard Réti, Savielly Tartakower, and Fred Yates in Hamburg. This time we will see the game between Bogolyubov with white versus Capablanca with black, with Capablanca's brilliant victory.
d4. Knight f6. Knight f3. d5. e3. e6. Bishop d3. c5. b3. Preventing the advancement of the black c-pawn as well as preparing for bishop b2. Knight c6. Castle kingside. If d takes c5, bishop takes c5, this just helps black's development. Bishop d6. Bishop b2. Castle kingside. Knight b to d2. Queen e7. Capablanca prepares the advance of his e-pawn by backing it up with the queen. Knight e5. Bogolyubov's knight blocks the black e-pawn's advance and prevents black from dominating the center. C capture d4. E capture d4. Bishop a3. Bishop capture a3. Queen capture a3. The battle lines are now drawn. White will try to use his dominating position in the center. Black will try to exploit the dark square weaknesses on the queen side, caused by the exchange of white's dark squared bishop and the holes on a3 and c3, as well as the half-open c-file. Knight d to f3. Ensuring that a knight will remain well posted at e5, after black move knight take e5, white move knight take e5. Bishop d7. Knight capture c6. Bishop capture c6. Queen d2. Alekhine later said that he thinks queen c1 was better. Rook to c8. Kappa looks to the future. Once the c6 bishop moves, his rook will create a bit of pressure along the file. c3. Bogo should have played knight e5 right away, as there was no real danger to the c-pawn. a6. Capablanca creates an anchor point for his bishop. Knight e5. Bishop b5. f3. Bishop capture d3. Knight capture d3. Rook c7. Preparing to double the rooks on the c-file and pile up on the c3 pawn. Rook to c1. Rook f to c8. Rook c2. Knight e8. Rook f to c1. Knight d6. Knight e5. The main purpose for a knight on the 5th rank is to hamper the movement and development of the opposing pieces. But black already has his pieces where he wants them on the queen side, so there's no point to this move anymore. Queen a5. And now everything is piled up on c3. a4. We're not sure what Bogo was thinking with this move, unless it was to play b3 before next move. The fact is that Bogo now has two weak pawns on the queen side. Queen b6. Kappa zeroes right in on the fresh weakness white just created. Knight d3. Bogo has decided to drop the pawn in favor of playing knight c5. He might have done a bit better to follow his original plan of playing b3 b4. Queen capture b3. Knight c5. Queen b6. Rook b2. Queen a7. Queen e1. Bogo had to do this, as black was threatening. Knight c4, forking the queen and b2 rook. b6. Knight d3. Rook c4. White is really hurting now. Kappa is able to exploit the weak queenside squares to his full advantage. a5. B capture a5. Knight c5. Knight b5. Rook e2. Now Kappa sees a brilliant way of finishing the game. Knight capture d4. C capture d4. Rook 8 capture c5. Bogo sees no future for this game, so he throws in the towel. Lesson: remember that every time you advance a pawn, you create a weakness in your position. It seems odd to say this, considering that you must advance a few pawns in order to develop your pieces, but it's the truth. D capture c5. In this game, we again saw Capablanca's adroitness at exploiting these types of weaknesses. Bogolyubov left several holes on his queenside and Kappa used them to his advantage. One of Bogo's errors in this game was in allowing the black queen to sit so long in the heart of his queenside. Queen capture c5 check. King h1. Rook c1. Bogolyubov resign. The mate is unavoidable.
Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to give us a like and subscribe.